All right, let's do a quick visual condition report. Now, one thing to note is on the wheels, you have your Cobra wheels up here with the Cobra emblems. And then on the back, it looks like a replica wheel with the replica emblem there. Got the shorty antenna. Here on this fender, got a couple rock chips. A little chip here. And around this emblem, you can see a couple gashes. A little imperfection here. A couple chips and gashes. The rest of that fender looks good. This wheel does have curb rash around it. Looking at the side mirror, you do have some gashes and rock chips. You can see some imperfections here in the paint. And this plastic is faded. And then looking around the windshield, you can see some of the glass. I don't know what you call this, but you can see the little spots around it. Overall, that roof looks good. Checking out the door, we have a gash right there. Scuff here, and then you got some scuffs from getting in and out of the car with a couple gashes, and then a few rock chips. We have a couple spots here chipping on the edge. Quarter panel looks good. The rest of that looks nice. You have a chip here. The rest of that wheel looks good. And then looking at the front bumper, it is wrapped in PPF paint protection film as well as the hood. So here on the hood, you're gonna see a couple spots lifting on these sharp edges. Now we do have some previous rock chips that look like they've been touched up underneath that PPF. You got a few of those kind of peppered throughout. And you're going to have some across this front bumper as well. And you can see that lower splitter does have some curb rash on it. You're going to see some of the film lifting around some of the edges. Overall, that wheel looks good. Then here on the fender, we have a rock chip right there that's been touched up. And then you can see the paint down here is chipping away. And then on the side mirror, you got about 20 or so rock chips. And this plastic is kind of fading a little bit. And on top of the door, you're going to see these little imperfections, little runs in the paint of some sort. Down the side. You have a gash right there. Overall, that door looks good. Got a gash right here. See some cracking in the paint around the edge there. Got a chip. That wheel looks good. You got a crack in the clear. Little gash. That section looks nice. And then here on the back left, you can see some damage. You have some spider cracking and some gashes in the paint. Tail light's nice and clear. Got the carbon inserts here. On the top of the spoiler, you can see some cracking. And that lower valance here on the bottom, you can see some damage on that plastic. And if you look on the weather stripping, you're going to have a couple gashes here on the edge and one right there in the middle. And then looking at the interior, it is a non-smoker. Overall, this door panel looks really good. Now the lettering has kind of faded off of these buttons. Everything else looks nice. Kick plate trim looks good. Now we do have some gashes and imperfections here though on that paint. You got your typical wrinkles there, but no gashes. And we do have some wear and scuffs on this bolster. Steering wheel overall is really clean. These buttons look nice. Got the billet knobs. All of those buttons look good. You do have the wear here on the top of the shifter. Console looks nice. Looking at the passenger door panel, overall nice and clean. The buttons, the little white has kind of faded on there though. Everything else looks good. Plastic trim, you do have a couple gashes there, and you can see the doors kind of rubbed on that edge. We have a couple wrinkles on that bolster, but otherwise super clean, and a few tiny scuffs on this bolster. The Alcantara is darkened a little bit, especially on the bottom, but you can still see the lines that you can put in there, so it's still nice and soft. And this leather's a little hardened on that bolster. Glove box looks good. Dash looks nice. And here on the top of the seat, you're going to see some scratches and scuffs. And then looking at the back seats, you can see the Alcantara looks really good. I don't see any gashes or scuffs anywhere, so overall this back seat's very, very clean. And then here on the rear view mirror, you can see it did delaminate around the edges.